Welcome to DudeNoWay Live, where we embark on a quest to play the greatest games of all time. I'm your host, Moonchild of DudeNoWay, and today we are building muscle memory in Overwatch 2. So today we're going to be reviewing some Lifeweaver gameplay. This is a Plat 5 game, and we're going to be looking for room for improvement. And if you would like to have your gameplay reviewed on stream and turned into a video, you can send it to me at DudeNoWayLive@gmail.com, and I would be happy to turn it into some content. You're up at the spawn door, which is good straight off the start here. It drives me crazy when people decide they want to hang out in the back of the map before the game starts. I don't know why people do that. Like you're Orisa slow walking to the front there. Like, dude, you're literally just giving up the advantage straight away if you're not at the spawn door waiting to run out there, waiting to take space, you know? So you got a Tracer, you have a Zen, you have a Cassidy, and an Orisa. It's smart to charge up your first heal before you advance to the point. I think that was a good call. That way you don't have to wait for it. And right now we're just doing the choke duel. You can see the Orisa is not really utilizing too much cover here. As I just come over here, you can see she's just kind of... This is her space to be. And she is in the center... presumably fighting the other Orisa based on the amount of health that she's lost. But the this is not the best place to start. It's not giving me a ton of confidence that the tank knows what to do. You are also kind of standing a little bit out in the open here, as you can see. As I break off of yours, you can see that these guys are able to look directly at you. The Cassidy is doing the right thing in so far as that he's kind of jiggle peeking this corner. The Zen is also in like a weird place to be Zen, but if you're only healing, you don't need to really show the enemy team your face at all. So you could really kind of hide behind this corner and you know, do the support thing from the side without ever having to worry about taking damage from them at all. Because right now you're susceptible to a Sojourn headshot. If she were to damage you just a little bit, you could potentially die based on the Sojourn headshot railgun damage. So you do back up here, and that was smart on your part. You got out of the way as soon as I said that. You can see that your team is getting a little bit low. I can't see who Zen's healing orb is on right now, but presumably it's on Tracer, because from this angle, it doesn't look like Zen is healing anyone at all. Your Cass is overcommitting to this engagement a little bit. He doesn't really need to be out there, kind of standing in the middle like that. You can see that your Tracer is about to get dove by Genji, and the Tracer herself is also low health. She's running back for the health pack. Looks like she is going to be able to get that. I wouldn't worry about her really in this moment. You have kind of three important targets in front of you that do need to stay alive, and Cass has like no mobility, so it would be extremely difficult for Cassidy to get to a health pack from this spot without wasting a bunch of time. So I think you're kind of in the right place here, especially since the enemy team is no longer in your line of sight. I'm not certain that I would have pulled that Orisa back. One thing that you want to be cautious of when you're using life grip is wasting the tank's ability to take space. So when you life grip a tank and you take them out of the spot they're kind of forcing their way into, you kind of remove their agency to take the space the way that they normally would be able to. She could have broken line of sight. She could have strafed here. She could have strafed to the right and used this corner, and then you could have just healed her up. Insofar as the life grip ability, it's like the main value proposition of Lifeweaver is to make someone immune to damage and pull them out back to safety very quickly. But that being said, you need to use it the most sparingly on a tank, because their whole job is to make space, and you have effectively neutralized the space that they could have made. So you're doing good. You're keeping the tank up. The Cassidy should be getting the healing orb from Zen, and it doesn't look like he is right now. I think in this moment, we need to save Cass, because if he takes any amount of damage, he is dead. Good. And the tank, this is the tank's fault. The tank is taking too much damage because she's standing out in the middle of the open. There's only so much healing you can put out between yourself and Zen. You can see Zen's healing orb is already on the tank, and the tank is, like, you're dumping heals into this guy, and they are just hemorrhaging hit points left and right. This is not your fault, but this tank needs to learn to play cover, or you guys simply can't win. Okay, so right now, this would be the time when you would want to life grip someone. Like, Cassidy doesn't need to worry about space. He's extremely low health. He could die from a simple right click from the Genji. And in this moment, this is where you would right click, or this is where you would life grip even, to save Cassidy's life. In the time it takes you to charge up your heal, he may already be dead. Perfect. Exactly what you wanted to do. Now, the Genji has to overcommit to the engagement to get this Cassidy down. He has to put himself in extreme danger. And while your tank is up there making space, you can see that she's like around half hit points. So it shouldn't be too big of a deal for her to be healed up by Zen. Good job. One thing that you should have done in the moment while Cass was advancing is you need to also advance here, because you can see that your tank is getting up onto the robot, taking space from them. But the issue with you is that you're so far back right now that it's going to be difficult for you to get to their position in the amount of time that you would want to be there. That being said, Lifeweaver doesn't have to aim his heals, so that is like a 1+ of being Lifeweaver. But, you know, you definitely want to understand when it's time for you to aggress as well. You're using your movement ability a lot to move yourself in places that you don't really need it. You may end up needing it in a spot where the heal from that comes in handy and saves your life. So I would be less liberal with your usage of your movement ability and just try and move normally until you need that heal. Because if you don't have, if that heals, if that can't have it getting worse. If your movement ability is on cooldown, I hate that you can't see the cursor when I take the bar away here, but if your movement ability is on cooldown and you need that heal, it could be the difference between you living or dying. But in this moment, it's not going to matter, but in the future, that's something that you want to think about. And that was a clutch time to reload. In this moment, in the time that you reloaded, you could have been throwing some damage out there. It is okay to toss out some of the thorns now and then. With Lifeweaver, he does deal a pretty decent amount of damage, and you can just pepper in some damage in between your heals. You did good keeping that Zen alive. Your Orisa is now getting pushed back now. The team is starting to aggress on her. The enemy Orisa is alive again. You can see that pretty much everyone is looking her way now. And Genji is overcommitting to this engagement hard. So, like, and his deflect is on cooldown. So your tank needs to pay attention to the time to aggress and retreat as well. I think right now, if she has her spear spin available, it would be best to push them backwards to maintain her footing that she has gained for herself and for you guys by pushing the robot forward. But she's taking too much damage, and you see she did use the spear spin, but she's using it to deflect damage now instead of using it to take space. And the spear spin will knock everyone back, so I think that in that moment she could have pushed forward. With you about to charge your ult, you could have dropped the tree right next to the robot and been good to go. The tank is not using cover at all. She's using the robot as her piece of cover, and that's like fine to an extent, but the robot has like space between its legs and space between its arms that can easily be shot through, especially by someone like a Sojourn who can just kind of line up your tank's head through the space in between the robot, and the tank, that's why the tank is taking so much damage. That was decent usage of the movement ability to retreat there. You can see that your team is starting to get low health. This tree could have came out a little bit sooner to have helped your tank understand that it is okay to push forward and keep the space that you guys have already gained for yourself. Life protects life. You've now overcommitted to killing this Genji. I know he's low health, but you got like 2 seconds. You got like 2 seconds to get that kill, and if you don't get it, you're now overcommitting as a support player to putting in damage where you should be making sure that everyone is alive. Now, everyone on your team is fine right now, but this in general, this is going to end up with people on your team dying in other scenarios. And then, so thankfully, the Orisa using her ultimate was able to follow up on the kill there, but you just committed a little bit too long. You're putting out a lot of heals for your team, and I think that is carrying them right now. Their bad positioning is kind of made up by the fact that you are throwing so many heals out onto them. So with the Lucio ultimate coming out there, you guys had some time where you kind of needed to play a little bit more passively, and everybody did the thing that they needed to do. Your team is standing in the Sojourn Disruptor shot, which is not great, but at the same time, you can always just heal them through this. This is not enough damage to actually be dangerous to them, and their tank is, I believe their tank is dead. Yeah, she died and is now running back as Zarya, so it's going to be a hot minute before this tank makes it back to the robot. You have plenty of time for your team to snag a couple of kills on either the Lucio or the Moira. And everybody is good. So, like, you didn't need that movement ability right there. Now is the time when you start throwing out damage.
Pushing our barricade up.
But you're holding this heal a little bit long. While it is good to have that big burst of healing, you don't necessarily need to hold it for so long. There's no one that can come through and really burst them right now. You know that the Sojourn doesn't have a charged railgun, so you don't have to worry about any huge burst damage coming out. You can get aggressive with your damage at this point. Like right there, you could have been throwing thorns out at the Zarya. You could have been throwing thorns over at the Genji. So you're kind of doing nothing at this moment. As you stand here and you hold this heal, you are missing out on a lot of opportunity to do something, anything, right? But instead, you're just kind of holding the heal here, and that is not great for your squad. And the Tracer is dead. You couldn't have prevented that. She was up in enemy territory with a bunch of people staring right at her with a low health character. She overcommitted to that engagement. Holding this heal would not have saved her. And like now is the time when you could be charging up a heal to get ready to, because you see all these people about to come down and attack your Orisa, or potentially your Cassidy might just go down very quickly because of this Genji, depending on how accurate the Genji is, right? Now would be the time to start charging that heal. And that's unfortunate, right? So in that moment, you got headshot by the by yourself, actually, with the Genji deflecting onto you. You kind of waited for your moment to get aggressive till right now. And in the moment where you see that Genji pops up deflect right there, this is Genji aiming at you, turning to aim his crosshair at you. So you end up wrecking yourself with your own thorns here, right there. Bang. And just a small amount of damage from the Sojourn was able to combine to finish you off with your own damage. That feels bad. But that was a solid deflect on Genji's part.
The enemy took control of the rope.
So I'm going to break off from your... from you right now, and I'm just going to look at your team. You can see that with Zen down and you down, this tank needs to die quickly, and this Cassidy will not make it out and back to safety. So he also needs to die quickly so that all of you can get back together. Tank goes down. Cass goes down. All right, so that's kind of, that was quick enough, right? That was best case scenario. Now you guys can spawn up. And right now, at this moment, your Tracer is already up there, and Tracer is ruining her ability to be supported, and also your guys' ability to get into a team fight when you guys all come back together. So Tracer is asking to die right now. You see that? And she is like so far deep right now that there's no chance that you could even throw a heal her way at all. and the entire enemy team is right there. Again, your Tracer is asking for death. She's begging to die. And okay, so right now you are begging to die because you don't have anybody on, you don't have anybody on your team in front of you. You could see that your Zen is behind you, your Orisa is behind you. You are asking to be one hit in this moment by a Sojourn, and like, Sojourn isn't there. We can see that she's not there, right? But you don't know that she's not there. So like, you are asking to, not only are you charging the enemy's ultimate, insofar as that, like, this Moira orb, it's going to come up, it's going to get you, and then you'll probably take a little bit of damage from that, so Moira's ult is going to go up, even though she already has it. But the idea is sound here, right? You are peeking this choke preemptively when you should be waiting for the tank to be in front of you in this moment. Bang, and there we go. Moira just generating a bunch of ult charge off of you. You did not need to use that. You could have just waited for your health to go back up. You barely took any damage from that orb, and your movement ability being on cooldown, you might need that to get back behind a piece of cover as you guys advance here. So there's another Moira orb coming your way, and you were throwing some damage out. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think that you were kind of overcommitting to the damage a little bit there. While the tank was getting forward, that would have been the time to have started to charge the bulb. Right now, like, you are doing a good thing insofar as you're supporting the Cass, but when the Cassidy sees that your Zen pops ultimate, Cassidy should be moving down towards you guys to be part of the support line, because he can't actually take care of himself. So him taking a high ground angle by himself, knowing there's a Genji on the other team, is Cassidy, like, misplaying his opportunity here. In addition to that, while the Zen is ulting, you know that you don't actually need to be doing any healing. So while Zen's ult is going off, this would be the time for you to be throwing thorns out. And so you were able to get that Genji off of you, and you're keeping the Cassidy alive, but the tank is down here taking the full brunt of the enemy right now with only Zen as his healer, and your Zen is actually down from the Moira's ultimate. So like, the tank is down here completely unsupported at this moment, potentially in a deadly situation, depending on how much charge this railgun has, and this Genji here. Like, the tank cannot fend off against these two DPS at the same time. Cassidy, again, put you in a position where you made a positional error because of Cassidy's positional error, and now it's kind of snowballing you into a bad place. Right now, you can see that your tank is yellow. She's getting very low hit points as the fight progresses, and you throw your pedal to raise yourself up and give yourself line of sight with the tank. I think that was a smart move. But instead of throwing it towards the tank, you had to throw it towards Cassidy, who is still in a bad place for himself, because the Genji can just run back up the wall here and get back up to aggress on him. Okay, so you used your movement ability again to kind of push yourself forward. That only really moves you a few feet. So try, like I said, try and save that for moments when you could potentially save yourself by putting yourself back into cover, or onto a high ground position. You didn't need it really right there. You're doing a lot of healing. You are the brunt of the support. The healing that you're putting out is like an extreme amount for a team that should not be putting themselves in a situation where they're really taking damage anyway. I think that's the first time I've seen Orisa properly utilize a piece of cover. Okay, alright, so remember I talked about utilizing cover from a place where you don't get seen by the enemy team? Look at where you're standing right now. Right? What is there to protect you at all? Like, nothing, right? And like, while the Zarya and the Sojourn are fighting Tracer right now, they could easily just look at you and everybody could shoot you one time and then you just fall over. And like Zen is back, so that's good. Now you have some backup, but you yourself are not utilizing cover at all, where you could be standing over here to the left. You could be standing even inside here. There's potential for you to save yourself from the damage that you could take, and in this moment you're more worried about keeping your tank alive, which I totally get, but you know, you have to make sure that you also stay alive, because if you go down, the tank is definitely dead, right?
This ends now.
Okay, so the Cassidy got headshot by the Sojourn. That's his own fault. He should not have been up here fighting the Sojourn away from you, breaking line of sight with his support anyway. He's not Tracer. You can see Tracer was right next to him a second ago, and now Tracer is all the way the hell back out here. Cassidy can't do that. That's his fault that he died. Okay, so you threw the pedal, and you got up to safety, but then you immediately jumped down off of the pedal. You could have just stayed up there, I think, and you would have been okay. And again, we talk about that thing that I was talking about before, where you pull the tank back and remove the space that the tank has taken. You have an ultimate available. You could have just put that down next to the tank instead of life gripping them away, because you're neutralizing all of the advantage that Orisa spent all that time making for you. That was strong usage of your heal, listening to Zen's sound cue and realizing that he was getting attacked right there, and then turning and actually keeping him alive is more important at this moment even than keeping the tank alive, because Zen can throw his heal onto the tank while you are healing him, but if Zen goes down, then you are in a significantly worse position than you were in before. The fact that Tracer is critical health with this amount of health and still firing her gun is indicative of Tracer being not good at playing her character. She should be shitting her pants right now, running and grabbing a health pack. She has both of her support players line of sighted. She has like 4 hit points. Let's just see, how many hit points does Tracer actually have right now? 14. She has 14 hit points, and she's still over there firing her gun. It is not your job to save her in this moment. It is Tracer's job to turn around and go get the health pack. That's what she has all that mobility for.
Healing here at your convenience.
And she did disengage. It was just a little bit late. Okay, right now, the tank is being wild as hell. The tank should not be advancing into a group this large, dropping her ultimate in the middle of the entire enemy team. Yes, she fortifies during her ultimate, but getting a value ult with Orisa is getting like 1 or 2 kills. Putting it in front of 5 people is asking for your Orisa to die. So that's not your fault, that's her problem, but that's a bad play on her part. And it looks like you're about to drop the tree, which I don't necessarily think that back here is the greatest place to have dropped it. Let's find out. Okay, so you threw a pedal. Okay, so that's actually good. That gives you a nice clean line of sight onto the Orisa. It's very unlikely that Genji will be able to really deal damage to you from up here. You stop strafing when you're on the pedal. You barely have moved around at all since you brought yourself up here. Keep moving, but try not to fall off, but keep moving around so that you make yourself a harder target to actually headshot. And you jumped down off the pedal. I don't necessarily think you needed to jump down yet, but that's okay.
I can hear you here.
And you try and tell the Tracer, hey, come back to me, you're low health, and I can heal you. And hopefully the Tracer listens to you, but again, this is not your problem. This is Tracer's fault. Tracer has all the mobility to get to a health pack. If she needs a heal, she could easily get back to you. If she dies, that's on her. Your Cassidy is way overcommitting. This right here, just, the Zarya is dead, so at least there's that. I was gonna say, a Cassidy walking into close quarters with a Zarya is almost always death for him.
And now we begin.
You've held your ultimate for a really long time. You could have been like 30% to another ult by now.
A touch of rework.
You're kind of heal botting a little bit with this Lifeweaver. You have the thorns can reach very long distances. You have the potential to put in some damage here around this corner. Don't be afraid to throw some thorns out there. You are playing good cover, though. I just want to make note of this. You are in a great spot as Lifeweaver, who can avoid taking damage because his heal is an auto lock, and you can hit people from very far away with it. You are actually playing strong cover right here. Although you're a little bit far away from your team, you could maybe do the same thing from like right here at this bus. But like in general, this is pretty good positioning.
Look at me go!
And you're holding this charge here, which I talked about this earlier, is kind of wasting your potential for more actions. Got the... Okay, you are now way far away from your tank. It's definitely time for you to get over there and be up there with them. It just, in any position, in any kind of capacity. I think you're about to do that.
Supercharged and on fire!
Right now, because you waited so long, you've put yourself into a big opening where a lot of people can attack you at the same time, and you have no one to support you. You can see your whole team is kind of over here. Arisa is coming up the ramp. Cassidy is coming up the ramp, about to look down the street, and you are now isolated by yourself, very far away from your team. That was good movement on your part by utilizing the blossom to get up, or the petal to get up into the sky. But one thing that you didn't do, you missed your opportunity to heal yourself for a health pack. So instead of using your healing ability here, you could have dropped down here, grabbed this health pack, and then used your healing ability to put yourself backwards, right, down this street, and block the line of sight with the enemy team. The Genji is attacking you, so I understand why you wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible. You can see he's doing whatever the hell this move is. But like he is coming for you with the Dragon Blade. So I understand what you were doing there. You are getting beamed from the Moira right now. You can see even all the way down here, she's able to hit you with this beam. So you put yourself into, like, out of a situation where you could be hit, but then into a situation where you are getting hit by someone else. And that's unfortunate. So the Genji was on top of you. You were already low health and getting lower health by the Moira. I didn't realize your wings fly off when you die. That's cool. So yeah, so you were already low health because of the Moira, and I'm just gonna back it up like 10 seconds so that we can see this again. And right here, and we're gonna watch you throw the petal. Right, you're holding. Bang, right now you throw the petal. Moira is already damaging you, right? The Genji is right on top of you. And so he runs up the wall, and you, instead of, you know it's here, right? You're already low health as you're jumping off of the pedal itself, and you know that the heal from the movement ability will get you up, but you only have 96 hit points right now. So it's not looking good even as you exit the pedal. Bang, and the heal takes you up to like 113, but it's not enough to make the difference between living and dying there. So we're just going to break off of you and watch this fight kind of play out. I would imagine your team probably loses this fight right now. Your Arisa is down. No, your Arisa is up. She's just in a weird position. I don't know where she was going. She was chasing a soldier on the enemy team. Your Cassidy has way overcommitted again. There is no health pack around him. Best case scenario, maybe he gets in here and grabs that one, but Tracer just took that one. Cass is way out of position. Just pulling it back so that I can see the bird's eye view. But he was able to get the Lucio, so at least there's that. And like, I don't know what is the aversion to picking up this health pack, but like, it doesn't bite, y'all. You guys can actually, like, Cassidy, you are half health. Why would you run back to the Arisa when there is like safety right here? Like, come on, dude. You're on your way back.
Up and at 'em.
That was an okay use of the movement ability to get back a little bit faster. But going up through that window does put you in a scary position. Thankfully, you don't get one hit by it, but seeing this is death, right? All that red is doom, and it should feel like death being right in front of you. Doing good getting out of the way there. Doing solid. Cassidy is taking way too much damage. Like a ridiculously huge amount of damage for a character that can be utilizing his wall cover right here to jiggle peek. He is way, way out of the way. This is ridiculous. He should not need this much healing. Because when he does that, like, when he fights like this, and also, like I said before, you've been holding this ultimate for a really long time. It's time to use it. Put it right here behind you guys so that you can advance forward and not have to worry about the damage from the entire enemy team advancing on you. So what I was saying was, what Cassidy's doing in this moment is he's forcing you to choose between, do I heal Cassidy or do I heal Orisa? And every time that he does this, every time he overcommits and puts you in this situation, you run into the possibility that Orisa will just die because she doesn't have enough survivability, and she is also not good at taking cover. She doesn't have enough survivability to actually live through 5 people. And you can see your Reaper, the enemy Reaper, is coming up on you right now. So it's not looking good for you. Zen is way out of the way right now, still coming back from the spawn. And the Cassidy, the best possible scenario for him would be to come over to the wall here and grab the healing orb from Zen for a few seconds. He's got this health pack behind him. I don't think he's going to use it, but maybe he will. I think he's tunnel visioned too hard on the enemy and not worried about keeping himself alive, which is more important than actually killing the enemy. I don't know if, like, a lot of DPS players don't seem to know this, but you can't actually deal damage when you're dead. Okay, so you did use the, tree. You put it kind of right where I said that you should. The Reaper is going to be on you, and the Reaper's damage while he is close, his burst damage is too high to be negated by the tree itself. So I think he might back up just a hair based off of you dropping this tree. But that being said, if he barrel stuffs you, that is the end of your life. He could just one-hit you. Okay, so the Lucio on the other team used his ultimate, and at the same time, your Cassidy decided it was time to use High Noon, which basically nullifies Cassidy's DPS ultimate.
You're better off with me.
Well, I mean, okay, so you used it on Cass. I think maybe you meant to use it on Orisa. The odds of either of them having survived this are pretty small. Whether it was Cass or Orisa, even with your tree right there, it's very hard to survive the Zarya ultimate while the entire enemy team is looking at you. And yeah, so Orisa went down, and now you have this Cassidy who can't make the difference up between you guys losing the tank. So like the Cassidy is not the character that you wish you had pulled. I'm sure that wasn't what you intended to do, but unfortunately that's the situation. So at this moment, when your tank goes down, even though your tree is right there, it's time to back up off of this ledge and disengage. There we go. Smart, smart. Unfortunately, Zen is up Shit's Creek without a paddle. Zen is going to die again unless he uses his ultimate, which he burned his entire ultimate to get back to you guys. Him using Tranquility right here, not going to save him if he doesn't use it, like all of his additional movement speed to get out of this fight. Tracer can engage or disengage as she wants, but Zen needs to use the extra speed from his ultimate to get out of this fight, and you need to continue backwards, back where you just were. You've overcommitted to this fight. There is no reason for you to stick around. Both you, Zen, and Tracer should be leaving right now. You have a massive advantage over their team. You have a gigantic lead over them. You don't need to throw your life away at this pointless battle. The Orisa is going to take forever to respawn and run back up here. Even though it looks like the Zarya is low health, I don't think that this is a winnable fight for you guys. And then, look, you got Cassidy who's like, wait, are we doing this? And now he's running back up the street, but it's going to take him 2 weeks to run around this corner and run all the way back up to the point where he can actually be effective again. You guys should have continued on with the disengage here. You have plenty of time. Yeah, so you are up. You are about to die, I think. So the Genji is in front of you. The Moira is coming your way. The Zarya is not going to die. And the Reaper is still alive. So, like, all of these characters can take you out, like, these 3 characters can kill you in like 1 second. Like Moira a little bit longer than that, but the point holds, she can attack you from really far away. So this is very, very dangerous for you. And now that you did not disengage, the Orisa is way the fuck back here, right? So when you die, which I think you are going to probably, the Orisa is now going to have to choose to either run all the way back to the spawn and wait for you, or engage on her own, stagger in, and then die. And like the stagger train is about to leave the station, I think is what's going to happen right here. So you're doing your best to keep Zen alive. Zen is now dead. One of the longest, slowest characters with the longest run back is now dead. You're trying to keep this Cass up, but again, like you use your movement ability to get out of the way. That's not going to be enough to save you. You could have used your movement ability to go backwards and just let Cass die. Because since Zen just died, Cass can die, and the 2 of them can run their slow asses back to the point together. So you go up on the pedal, but, like, let me just back this up real. Thanks. So you go up on the pedal. You had a perfect opportunity to break line of sight with a lot of their team, but instead of going this way, instead of going this way and landing over here, you ran forward and now are still in the line of sight of everyone behind you, right? Like, you have a beautiful, gigantic wall to give you a couple of extra seconds to disengage, because like we have now missed like 4 opportunities to disengage. And now the Cass is dead, and now you are dead, and in doing so, you've completely stranded poor Orisa, who is, there she is. She's way over here. She has just now finally made it back to the fight, and she has no support alive, and now she is going to die. And now all of you have like, you lost out on your team fight because you didn't disengage and wait for people to come back at that moment. You can't, you're too close to their spawn to realistically have done pretty much anything when you took this fight originally. When you came back up to save Zen, and Zen popped ult, that was the time to leave. So we're gonna watch Orisa die. Okay, see you later, Orisa. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on you. And you guys do have the forward spawn, right? So you're not super far away from each other. Zen is begging to die. Zen is standing out in the middle of the open, looking for that cheeky one hit, but in reality, what Zen's gonna find is that the Genji can just kill him from that distance, right? So, like, while Zen has that one opportunity to get the one hit, he also has a very large opportunity to die right there. And here he goes. Look at how much damage Zen just took. If you weren't here to save him, that would have been a nearly good game for Zen. Okay, so you guys are back. The next team fight is about to happen. Your Zen is now dead again. Unfortunately, the Cassidy getting aggressed on by that Genji meant that you had to stay and heal him, while Zen was over here trying to keep Orisa alive while she takes damage from the Lucio and the Zarya, and your Tracer is in an ego duel. No, okay, so Tracer is trying to run away from the Moira, who is very much able to kill Tracer in this moment. So unfortunately, it looks like your horse is going to go down again here. The other team is really just beating a dead horse at this moment. And here she goes. And she wasted her ultimate by running into the middle of them. She saw a bunch of people and thought, yo, oh man, you know what would be really cool? If I waste my ultimate. That's a really solid life grip. Really good. You saved her, and then she threw her own life away. She threw her own life away the second after you life gripped her to you.
The enemy has stolen away our friend.
And now both of you are dead. You didn't need to save him. It was his fault. He shouldn't have been down here. He knew what was coming his way. There's no reason for him to have been there. He could have been up on this high ground position, utilizing these signs as a piece of cover. He threw his life away. And you got very lucky. You only survived with the healing orb from Zen. And you got very lucky that that Genji missed a shot or had to reload on you at that moment. We now need to group up. You guys need to break line of sight. You and Zen need to go hide in this building. You need to hide and wait for your tank and for Cass to respawn. By standing out in the middle of the open, Genji is able to generate more ultimate charge, and I know he already has it, but the point stands, like, with the Zen taking more damage, he's just charging other people's ultimates for no reason.
You're blossoming.
You did good trying to get the heal in on that Tracer. She did do the right thing in coming back to you guys for support, so at least there's that, right? The Orisa did not need to drop down here. She could have easily fought from her high ground position, tried to get a kill or two, and you could have dropped the Tree of Life the very second that you guys all decided to drop down as a team, which it looks like that second is now. So hopefully, you know, hopefully the Tree of Life comes out, but Orisa just dropped down into her own death. This is the second time in like 30 seconds I've watched her throw her life away.
Life protects life.
This is hell. It is hell on earth out here. And the Orisa, ironically, the Orisa is the only one still alive, right? And like Tracer is here, but she's about to get sucked into this Zarya ultimate. So there's no saving Tracer. The Orisa is literally only alive because you dumped that healing into her. You guys have lost this push. You lost this push. That's it. It is what it is. And now Orisa is going to go down. At the very least, you guys are dying close enough together to get another team fight in. Right, and that team kill notification, that just generates a bunch of confidence for the enemy. We're just gonna back up just a hair here as we see you spawn.
Take care.
Bang. At this moment, you know that there is no one on your team alive. You need to wait for them all to come out all at the same time. And you are all kind of close. But again, with you being the first one out, you could just die. Thankfully, that isn't happening. The Genji did not get aggressive on you. Their team should have pushed up and gotten more aggressive to try and get a stagger off the spawn, I think. So your Zen swapped over to a BAP, presumably to save the life of the Orisa, who keeps throwing her life away. You're getting attacked by Reaper right now. And that was a really solid use of the pedal. The way that you are staying on the pedal and continuing to move around is indicative of you having a good angle and also a good understanding of this character in general. And thankfully nobody else needs healing because the Orisa has never seen cover in her entire life and just thinks like, hey, I'm the strongest character who's ever lived. I can withstand the heat from 5 enemies at the same time. Thank God nobody else needed to heal, bro. So in this moment you were safe enough. I think you could have saved that pedal and potentially you could have even used it on BAP, maybe, to have raised him up, because you were close enough to a piece of cover here that you maybe could have gotten it, but you're fine. This is not bad. Everybody makes mistakes, constantly. We are all constantly filled with mistakes. Don't worry about it. So, the BAP tried to save your Orisa right there, and overcommitted his life, and in doing so, he put himself in a position where he could be... You're getting pinched, is what it's called. So you move yourself into an area where you can be attacked from the front and people can turn around and come around and pinch you from the back. So you're getting like the Chinese finger cuff, right? Where BAP was the cuff itself. Reaper and the Genji, and then the enemy Zarya and the Moira are the fingers, right? Kind of pushing in on BAP and squeezing him to death. Your Tracer died. That's because she overcommitted to this fight. She has all the movement to be able to get out of there. That's totally fine. Your Orisa is doing everything she can to stop them from getting it 2-ish meters that you guys need to lose the lead here. Throwing her life away is like the only thing she can do. Don't life grip her. You know, try and heal her. There's nothing. You guys have lost the lead at this point. There's nothing that can save you from from losing the lead right now, I don't think.
Safety in numbers.
Ah, that hurts. That hurts. Like, yes, she's alive, right? But not for long. The Reaper is on you, about to take you out. You gave away the only thing stopping her, and again, she would have only held it there for another, like, second or two before she died. It's really hard to say one way or another, but I think both you and Orisa are about to die in this moment. But... but now she's gone. I paused it just slightly too early, but now she's gone, right? And this Reaper being on you is like, you had a petal cooldown, you could have used that to have saved yourself from Reaper. But instead you started attacking him. Again, you could not have saved Orisa regardless. And then you go down. Right now, the best possible move for your team would be for your Baptiste to have swapped over to Lucio, and for your Tracer to rush the point with Lucio and try to kind of stall as long as humanly possible. But without the AoE healing of, like, a Luce, the Tracer's just going to die. And you can only be, like, so elusive against, like, a Moira who can beam onto you without actually having to aim. We're going to watch this from the top-down view. So we have Afara now. And while Afara is, like, fine, Afara actually charges up Zarya quite a bit. So, like, Afara is not a good choice to play against a Zarya. So, you know, that's a misplay on your DPS's part. There's nothing that can be done to stop this push here. Until your tank gets back. And your tank is here now. And I believe you are coming back from spawn, right? So you're using the... petal. This is really strong petal usage because nobody on their team can hit you at all from up here. This might be the one moment where I would say it's time to heal bot, right? Because, like, the only thing that will save you guys from losing is you keeping your team alive for as long as humanly possible. But the Tracer gets a value pulse bomb and ends up getting 3 of the enemy team there. That was really strong. Really strong usage of the pulse bomb by Tracer. You guys now have the potential to maybe push it back, but you're going to have to win at least 2 team fights, maybe 3 team fights, to be able to make it through here and win the game. You can hear the Reaper. I see you looking for him. You can hear his stupid boots. Really strong petal usage. Oh my god, dude. That was the best life grip you've done all game. You saved Bap, the one person that can actually keep this push going with you. Amazing. Good job. Yes, that was the right call. Although now the Reaper is looking at you. You can see now Reaper is, his attention is on you. But that was the right call. That's called a peel, and you peeled for your Baptiste there by getting the Reaper off of Bap and onto you. You could just throw another petal, right? Like, the Reaper can't do much to you, so you peeling for him, forcing the Wraith form out is a good call. You drop the Tree of Life on the robot, also a good call. And now you just drop a petal and take yourself back up to safety. And there it is, dude. Oh, no. Oh, no, dude. Oh, man. The Reaper came with you. That's not great, huh? Hopefully he falls off. And he did, so you're totally good. That was the right call at that moment to have pulled Tracer off. Oh, you used it on Bap. Yes, you used it on Bap. Like, that is still fine. I think that's still fine. Because Bap can throw the Immortality Field down if he has it off cooldown and potentially save both you and Reaper. You and himself, I mean. From Reaper. That's unfortunate. You threw the petal, which I think was, like, a good usage of petal at that moment. You did need a petal. Unfortunately, you used your movement ability and ended up going backwards instead of over onto the petal. Realistically, could it have saved you? Maybe. Potentially, right? But would it have saved you the fight? Probably not. Probably not. Although with Bat being alive, there's a better chance of that. So Bap is now getting tunneled by the Genji, and it's just unfortunate. There's only so much he can do. Best case scenario, your Pharah would need to be paying attention, peeling the Genji off for your Bap. It doesn't look like she's looking in that direction, so... So the Bap goes down, the Reaper takes down the Tracer, and the Pharah had to retreat. Your tank is now left alone with without the support of you guys alive. You're not quite even up yet, so that feels bad, so I'm just going to detach and let this keep going, because I think this is the end right here. Yeah. Oh! So the Malga makes a very interesting play. Insofar as that his last-ditch effort is, let me take everyone and force them to only attack me, right? And that does protect him from, like, the damage of, let's say, Reaper or something like that, but only until Reaper walks in. So, you know, was it a good call? I mean, at least he didn't end the game with his ultimate, right? Like, he was going down either way. I'm gonna turn it, and we're gonna watch this fight play out. And there he goes. And that's the end of overtime. That's tough, dude. You did a really good job, I think, in this gameplay. Just keeping your team alive, especially through the absolutely massive amount of damage that they seemed intent on taking at every moment. Like, pretty much every time your tank could be out of position, getting shot by someone, they made sure they were. And the same thing with the Cassidy, just absolutely dominating your ability to heal the team, because your attention had to be on them at all times. Otherwise, it was good game, right? So that sucks that you didn't get the win, but you guys made a very strong push there in the beginning. And in general, I think your pedal usage is very strong. And the only thing I think that you could work on is knowing when to retreat. The fight that you took, where you guys could have all retreated, is like the only time where I can say, like, this was the mistake that cost you the game. That was the moment where if you had retreated at that spot, I think you would have been fine.